Welcome to level 2. This video is going to cover level 2 from the beginning until the tick-tock song, or the tick-tock again is the name of the final practice sheet that you will do in this video. And then level 2 will continue into another video. So you'll either have the level 2 printout, the complete level 2, or you may have just a printout that says days 3 and 4. Either way, this video is going to cover the material in that. And 4. So let's go ahead and get started, but first make sure you're at your piano or your keyboard, because we'll be playing together. So make sure you have either the pages with you, or if you had purchased the manual, make sure that your manual is with you. And or one other option is that you have your laptop with you where you can see it, or your tablet. So there's all these different ways that you can use the lessons. Okay, so the beginning of this lesson is really basic, but it's important, like everything else I've been telling you about. This is again training the eye to see detail. So the first thing we're going to go over is the staff. And as you know, or if you've read through this yet, or if you're familiar with music to some degree, the staff is what the notes are placed on, and there's 5 lines and 4 spaces. And it's important to know that because you will be learning notes that are on the lines 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it starts from the bottom and goes up, or spaces, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and that starts on the bottom and goes up with 1, 2, 3, 4. So the staff is made up of the 5 lines and 4 spaces, and in the beginning of the staff is what you see is called a clef, and we're going to be learning the treble clef, and sometimes it's called the G clef, and it tells you to play with your right hand. So generally, and that's general. There are exceptions, but most of the time you're using your right hand when you play in the treble staff. So this is a treble clef, this is the staff, so you combine it and you can call it a treble staff. So the next page, if you're looking at your pages that you've printed out, or your book, is talks about the note and the basic parts of a note. So looking at your paper, you'll see that the round part of the note is the note head, and then the line on the side of it is called the stem. Just like on a flower, notes have stems, and stems can go up and stems can go down. And there is no reason except for placement on the staff. So for example, a stem going down versus a stem going up doesn't mean anything different for the note. All it means is that if the note is written higher on the staff, the stem is going to go down. It's just for neatness, right? It's for looks, okay? So don't worry about the direction of the stem and what that means. Some notes are colored in and some notes are not. And there's one particular note that has no stem at all, and that is a whole note. We will talk about that later in the lessons, but I just wanted to give you a brief overview of the note, that it has a note head and it has a stem, and it could go either way. The stem can go either way, and some notes are colored in and some aren't. And that's just really basic. On the next page, notes on the staff, you'll see that there's space notes and there's line notes. So space notes occupy the space in between 2 lines. So those are space notes. And a line note, and this again, I'm going to just keep saying this over and over, you're training your eye to see the difference between a space note, which is in between 2 lines, or a line note, which is written right on the line. So the line goes right through it. And it's important to recognize the difference, because when you start reading music, it just looks like a whole bunch of circles if you don't know the difference between a space note and a line note, right? So again, music and reading music and playing an instrument, especially the piano, is all about detail. And that's why we take these little tiny baby steps at a time, small little steps that build up into where when you get into more complex music, you won't be as confused as if we were going to start by just throwing a bunch of notes at you and saying this is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It's just too overwhelming to teach that way. So I take it one little tiny step at a time so that you can digest it, use it, and then build upon it. So that's what's really special about this program in particular versus a lot of other programs. It's also the biggest difference between someone going out and just picking and choosing free lessons here and there where nothing really makes sense because it's not a lesson built upon a lesson upon a lesson upon a lesson, and everybody's curriculum is different, so you can't really jump around. It doesn't make sense. So it's really important to choose one that you really like. It could be mine, it could be somebody else's, but choose one course that you really like and stick to it. Just stick through it. I'm sorry, I have something in my throat today. If you stick to it, you'll eventually get to your goals. And but on top of it, you can do other things. You can play on the piano and have some fun. So now we're going to go to the next page where we're actually, remember middle C that we were looking at as a C. We're going to start introducing it now as an actual note on the staff. So middle C is located hanging below the staff. You see that? This bottom line, it's actually below the bottom line, and it's in a C. A middle C is a line note because it has a line through it. It's actually called a ledger line, if you need to know. And when you see it, it's a middle. That C is middle C. And if you were going to, if music were going to tell you to play a different C, it will be written in a different location. So this will always be middle C, just so you know that that's not any C, that's middle C. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start and play the first song. Now this first song, my first song, isn't really going to be anything different than what you've already been practicing. The only difference is C won't be written as a letter C. It'll be written as a note on its own little staff. This isn't really what music looks like, but for simplicity's sake and for beginners, just for a little while, not for very long, you will look at it this way. So let's get ready and play this together. So let's have the camera come around. And I'm going to take this moment now to introduce you to my husband, who is the person behind the camera, moving around and trying to read my mind to see what I want him to do. So here, so we're going to put your hand on the piano and put your thumb on middle C, like you have in past lessons. And you keep your eyes on the music. In fact, let's take the camera off my hands and let's look at the music just to keep you straight, looking at your music as well. Or if you're watching the video, you can watch the video, but put your hand in place with your thumb on middle C, and let's go ahead and get started. I will say these numbers as we play them. So are you ready? Here we go. C, 2, 3, 2, C, 2, 3, 2, C, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, C, C. Okay, very nice. Now, even though this is a beginner song and it's staying in just one position where you're not moving your fingers around, You might find that your fingers still don't know the distance, and you might find that they've shifted a little bit. Just bring them back. It's okay to glance a little bit, but try really hard to teach your fingers what the 5-finger position feels like and what the distance is between the fingers. So that's why you keep your eyes on the music and not your hands, because we're training the hands. I can't tell you that enough. So if you follow my tips and follow my instructions, you will soar through the lessons and you won't develop any bad habits. So let's go ahead and move. Let me give you a chance to play that on your own. Okay, go ahead and pause the video here and go ahead and practice practice what we just learned 3 to 5 times through. Keep it nice and slow and steady. So, if you're comfortable with that, let's move on to notes and rhythm. Rhythm is what makes every song sound a little bit different. It's what gives it its color and its tempo and the beat. So rhythm is a combination of notes that are fast and slow. For example, if there wasn't any rhythm, let's just say jingle bells. Let's just say it was all the same to every single note was a quarter note, and there were no half notes, and there were no quarter notes. It would go like something like this. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. I mean, there's no rhythm to it at all. So when you sing jingle bells, it's jingle bells. That word bells, that's a half note. That's the combination of these notes is what gives it rhythm. Hopefully that was a good enough example for you to understand it. So rhythm is we're going to start with learning how to count just an eighth note, or I'm sorry, a quarter note. Okay, the black note that the C is written in with the stem, that's a quarter note, and it only gets 1 beat. So on the TikTok song, we're going to be counting 1 beat as tick-tock. And the reason why we're using tick-tock, we're going to use that through a few songs before we change to the traditional 1 and 2 and. We start with tick-tock because tick-tock, we naturally want to say that rhythmically. Tick-tock, 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 tick-tock. It just comes out naturally in a steady beat. So when we play this song, which is called the TikTok song, every single beat is going to be a tick-tock. So let me play it for you first so you can hear it. Watch your music so that you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to start with the 3, and I'm going to say tick-tock when I play it. Then I'm going to play C and say tick-tock when I play that. So use your eyes, use your ears, pay attention to detail, and I'm going to stop somewhere in the middle of the song and I'm going to ask where I'm at, and you're going to tell me in the comments. Okay? So here we go. Tick tock, 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 tick tock. Okay, where am I? So you can tell me by saying what the next number is. Just put it in the comments. Actually, yeah, tell me by what number is next. Depending on where you're watching this video from, you may or may not have a comment section. So if you don't have one, just answer it in your mind. So we're on the 3rd line on the 4. So great job following along with your eyes. And let's go ahead and start right there on the 4. Tick tock, 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 tick tock. Awesome. Okay, so keeping that beat really steady and the same tempo, which is speed, is going to be very, very important. And I'm going to tell you very early in the lessons, like right now, what I don't want you to do. I'm going to demonstrate it, okay? So watch, listen actually. Tick tock, 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 tick tock. So you see that what I did was I played some fast and some slow, and there's a tendency to do that when you're, for example, you have two threes in a row on the second line and 2 5s in a row. So naturally that's going to be easy. It's just 3 3 5 5, and you might want to rush through it because you know what's coming up. And then when you get to 4 2 4 2, it's natural to slow down because you need to find yourself, find your fingers, but you don't want to do that. You want to keep the tempo the same through the whole song, because if you start practicing it with different tempos, then that's called practice. That means you're perfecting it wrong. Does that make sense? So the way to keep the tempo the same when you're starting to learn a song is to keep it slow all the way through. Okay, so now it's time to practice. You're going to practice the tick-tock song and tick-tock again. And then after that, after you're really comfortable with that, you'll go to the next video where we'll pick up where we left off on the next page, which is quarter notes and half notes.